Alright, who here has went snowboarding?
I've been
But
skiing.
I mean like down a mountain.
Probably
No one?
not that.
Well, I got a story to tell you about my first time snowboarding. First time I went snowboarding 3 years ago. My brother took me out and we went down to Fort Ransom. 5 hours later, I was fair at snowboarding. I biffed it a lot. Well, went home, had a good supper, went to bed. Next morning, couldn't get out of bed because my body hurt so much. Well, today I'm gonna teach you how to snowboard. First couple of things I'm gonna talk about is all the equipment you need. And second thing I'm gonna talk about how your bindings go on your board, how you strap your feet, you strap the bindings on your boot. The third thing I'm going to talk about is how you actually go down the hill, how you keep your knees bent, how you turn. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is equipment. First thing you need, important thing you need is a board, which a snowboard, you kind of want one that comes up to your shoulders. I don't know why though, but when I went shopping with my brother, he says you kind of want one up to your shoulders, so mine's a 55, which didn't do much research, but numbers, don't know. But you kind of want one that comes up to your shoulders. Then the bindings, depends on what size of boots you buy. I think bindings, they only have small, medium, and larges, which I got a large because it's probably going to stick with me. And then this is a stomp pad right here. I don't think you guys can all see it. A stomp pad's made for is when you get on the lift, or when you get off the lift, I mean. You only have one boot in. So when you get off the lift, you want to put your right boot here, which I'll show you later, but I won't have my right boot on because my ankle. But you'll put your right boot here, and that will help you so your boot stays, so you can get off the lift without like biffing it right away, which I've done that before. And then some boots you want. You don't want regular boots because they have a tendency to break your ankles or do something bad to your ankles. So you want some good boots that they make for snowboarding. And then you want a helmet because once you get up to me and my brother like to do some goofing around. So helmets are really good to use. Goggles, they go straight behind your helmet and they're good for using if, like when me and my brother and dad went, we were in almost like a blizzard, but goggles help because it will help your eyes so you can actually see. Some good socks. You want a thin pair and a nice warm pair because if you're at the 13,000 elevation, it's pretty cold up there, and so you want a pretty good pair of socks, maybe 2 layers, but I'd get a good pair. And the second thing is that how to put your boot in. When you're going up or down the lift, you only want one boot in, so you want to put your boot, make sure it's all the way back, right on the back on this back pad, because if it's up any farther, it can hurt your foot. And then this strap right here, you want it to be way back, and you want it to be nice and tight so it doesn't come loose. And then this one, you kind of want in front right by your toes, because if you put it up here and you go to lean back when you're going down the hill, it can make your toes feel hurt. So I'd put it up here so your toes don't hurt so much, and then it makes it a lot easier. And then when you're going, like I said, when you're getting off the lift, you want to put your boot right here, and then you can lift your board back to get off the lift, and then you push yourself, because you want to keep this boot in most of the time, because it depends on if you're righty or lefty. And then if you're the thing about your bindings, they have a thing called, it's Goofy or straight. Straight is what I have right here. That means you go down left foot first all the time. But if you're goofy, I don't know why they call it goofy. That means you go down right foot first. So they have the bindings opposite. They'd have this one tilted a little bit more. And now, third thing I want to talk about is how you actually go down the hill, which I really don't want to put both boots on, so I'm just going to explain it. When you start going down the hill, you want to kind of keep your weight back to lift your front end up. But because if you're going straight down the hill, if you have it pointed, you're going to get way too much speed. So you want to slow down by having your back edge up. This is how my brother taught me. And you don't want to have it too far up, because if you come up to a bump, you could go for a roller coaster ride and just hit the ground. But then another thing my brother taught me is on your front edge. So if you're going down on your front edge, you just want to keep your knees bent and just lean lightly, because if you lean any farther, you could go head first. So you don't want to lean way too much, but I'd lean a little bit. And then when you come up to a jump, like, it doesn't matter what kind of jump you hit. It could be small, it could be medium. If you're coming straight down the hill and you're going up to a jump, before you hit the jump, you want to get on your front edge and hit the jump, because if you hit it on your back edge, your board has a tendency to come up to it, and you could be landing like this, which, done that before, it really hurts. So if before you hit a jump, you want to make sure you learn how to do your front edge, which it took me a while, because it's a lot harder than the back edge. And the first time, if you go snowboarding, if you're on your back edge the whole time, which I was, your ankles right here will really hurt, because all you're doing is going like this the whole time. So you really want to make sure on like the first, second day you snowboard, you kind of want to make sure you learn how to do your front edge a little bit, or else your ankles will be in pain a lot. So today I've taught you all the equipment you need. I've taught you how your binding should go on depends on if you're goofy or straight. I've taught you how to go down the hill. Make sure you bend your knees. That's one thing I forgot. Make sure you bend your knees good. So now when you go out snowboarding, you know that the first day you might get hurt a little bit, but the second week I was up and rolling. The next day I actually could get up for breakfast.